How's it going, guys? My name is Lombardo, and today we're going to talk about our favorite pistol in the game, the Desert Eagle. Because of its super high learning curve, it is very difficult to master the Deagle and be very consistent with it. But hopefully with a few of my tips and tricks, you'll be able to use it skillfully and make those $700 count. This is how to be a better Deagle player. The Desert Eagle is the epitome of a love-hate relationship. It's like that girl that keeps breaking your heart, but for some reason you keep getting back together with her. To make sure the Deagle doesn't break your heart anymore, it is crucial that you invest the time in getting to know it. The more you use the Deagle, the more comfortable you'll be with it. Just like with anything in Counter-Strike, investing the time to practice can yield amazing results in the long run. You just have to not give up. Now, before we begin the training, it is super important to know how the Deagle functions so we can iron out those aspects in practice. The Desert Eagle is by far the hardest pistol to use if you exclude the failure that is the R8 due to its very unique mechanics. Unlike most pistols, you can't spray with it, you can't run and gun with it, and it only has 7 bullets. But to make up for this, it deals a very high damage at medium/close distances. Unfortunately, there's a significant damage drop off at long range, so much that even a headshot isn't a one-shot kill. Fortunately for you, in most cases, you won't find yourself fighting at such long distances. At the right range, the Deagle can do up to 2 shots to the body and 1 shot to the head. You can deal up to 58 damage to the chest and up to 72 damage to the stomach. Shooting the legs, you will need to hit the target at least 3 times, as the most you'll do is 46 damage, which is still very significant. Although you should always aim for the head, in situations where you're forced to aim at the body, it's better to aim for the stomach, as there's almost a 15 damage difference between shooting at the chest. Aiming with the Deagle is not the easiest thing in the world. In fact, there's so much RNG involved that missing easy shots is inevitable. Your best bet is to make sure you keep your crosshair accurate and your movement synced with your shots. Good movement is key making the Deagle work. If your movement is awful, you won't connect with your target, period. Just like most rifles in CsGo, your accuracy will be determined from your movement speed. Obviously, the faster you move, the less accurate you'll be. With the Deagle, you pretty much want to be standing still at the time of your shot. This means you must sync your counter strafe with the moment you're about to fire to maintain your accuracy. Now, believe it or not, if you shoot while crouch walking, you will maintain that accuracy as if you're standing still. This is really good for situations where you're running and meet an enemy. Simply pop into a crouch, and that way you can maintain your accuracy without having to worry too much about your movement. Now, accuracy isn't only dependent on movement. Your fire rate will also have a great impact on the quality of your shots. The faster you fire, the more spread your bullets will have. While shooting the Deagle, you must maintain a moderate fire rate by timing each shot perfectly. Knowing at what timing to shoot at comes with time and experience, but don't worry, this tutorial is designed to help you get there quicker. There are so many ways of practicing with the Deagle, it's unreal, but choosing the right training is another challenge. Ideally, you want to pick a practice routine that will work on your aim, movement, and timing. I went ahead and designed a routine for you guys to incorporate into your training. For this routine, you will need a total of 2 workshop maps that you can find in the description of this video. To begin this routine, go ahead and open up map number 1, Training Aim CsGo 2. If you watch my other tutorials, then you'll know how much I like this map. Once you've loaded the map, go ahead and select the Deagle, and on the control panel select Intensive Fast Aiming, change the respawn time to 0.8 seconds and the target limit to 15. Put yourself on level 2 and shoot the start button to begin the exercise. The dots will keep appearing every 0.8 of a second. Once there's 15 dots present on the board, the exercise will automatically end. The challenge is making sure you keep the number of dots below 15. Better yet, try to stay ahead of the dots entirely. First, start by not moving at all. Shoot all the dots until you feel comfortable in keeping up with them. Then start to incorporate movement into your shooting. Practice your slides, your strafing, your sidestepping, your crouch shots, moving crouch shot, etc. Play around with your shot timing, figure out the ideal fire rate. Keep playing around with these things and you'll soon find this exercise too easy. To challenge yourself further, you can change the respawn time, the target limit, or the dot size to something smaller. There really is no limit as to how long you should do this exercise, so be your own judge. Once you feel like you've had enough, we can move on to the next exercise. On the control panel, select the first exercise, Classic Fast Aiming. Change the amount to 100 and the static target duration to 0.5. Optionally, you can select the target type to static, linear, or rotating, or all 3 if you'd like. Pick and choose for a challenge. Get back on level 2 and begin the exercise. Like with the other exercise, work on your movement and timing. Really focus on your accuracy this time, as the dot will only pop up for a short period of time. Once the total number of dots has reached 100, the exercise will stop itself. The number at the top of the board is essentially your hit percentage. Strive to improve this score and you'll be hitting domes in real games in no time. For our next set of exercises, you will need to load up map number 2, Aim Bots. Once you've loaded the map, using the green pyramids above you, block off 3 out of the 4 sections like so. Shoot at the Deagle to select it and proceed to shoot the bots. Focus on everything you worked on in the previous map, plus start to incorporate other techniques. Practice flicking from target to target, learn to quickly switch from one target to another, doing your best not to miss. You can also incorporate other weapons into this exercise. For example, kill a few bots with an AK, then quickly switch to your Deagle and kill a few more bots. This will allow you to get better at weapon switching in case you run out of ammo in a real match. If you're an opper, same thing will apply except use the op instead of the AK. As you're doing this exercise, I want you to speed up your shots going faster and faster. Not only that you'll get better at switching targets and being more accurate, you'll also get a feel for how fast you should be firing with the Deagle to maintain the perfect accuracy. After you start feeling super confident with your shooting, it's time to open up more sections that you have previously blocked off. What I like to do is make sure the entire map is open, then do constant 90 and 180 degree turns while shooting the bots. Bringing out the entire firing range will tremendously help your accuracy as you're not just focusing in front of you. Again, there really isn't a perfect time to stop at, just keep going until you've had enough or until you feel confident. I have said this before and I will keep saying this time and time again that no practice is better than against real people. And what has more people than deathmatch itself? Deathmatch is the ultimate all-rounder to end this training routine. No, I'm not talking about Valve's integrated Team Death Cancer, I'm talking about the free-for-all community deathmatch. To find a server, simply click on Browse Community Servers, search for FFA and select the populated server with a low ping. Because you'll be mostly using the Deagle on eco rounds or force buy rounds, it's best to start with a conventional deathmatch. When you're playing deathmatch, I don't want you to be running around aimlessly shooting at anything that moves. Instead, pretend like you're in a real match situation. Create a scenario that you may be in if this was a real match. For example, if you spawn around the A-long area, pretend like that you're entry fragging with the Deagle and see how far you can go until you go down. If you're holding down bomb site A, pretend like you're defending the site from the enemy. There are many scenarios that you can put yourself in and make deathmatch a lot more helpful. You can also practice holding angles. A big part of using the Deagle is holding an angle as if it's an op and wait for anybody to run into your crosshair. If deathmatch is already part of your training routine, then incorporating Deagle practice should be a piece of cake. I typically practice with the AK and the M4 and end the session with the Deagle. You should be aiming for around 50 to 100 kills with each weapon, but if you're exclusively training with the Deagle, I suggest a minimum of 100 kills. To further explore your options, you can consider the following game modes. Headshot only free-for-all deathmatch. Great for exclusively practicing your headshots. Pistol only free-for-all deathmatch. It's less chaotic, no head armor, and good for training patience. Aim deathmatch. Team-based, super chaotic, close quarters, really great for practicing sidestepping, using cover, and getting precision headshots. And last but not least, 1v1 servers. They're a perfect way to incorporate aim deathmatch and conventional deathmatch except in a 1v1 environment. Good way of practicing your duel skill as well. As you can see, there's so many ways of practicing your Deagle, but it's up to you if you want to do those things. Of course, if you're trying to become a better Deagle player, then putting in the work is absolutely essential. Do your best to incorporate my routine into your daily training and cycle at least one type of deathmatch for some variety. The Deagle can be a powerful tool, and if you train it right, it will help you out tremendously. Using the Deagle in game is nothing like using it in practice. In practice, you'll feel super great and confident, then you load up a pug and realize you're complete shit. Don't let this discourage you. The reason we practice with the Deagle isn't to become the best player on the server. Instead, it's to become more consistent with it so it can help us out in the moment of need. When should you buy the Deagle? Spending $700 on a pistol is no joke. You really gotta be smart about buying the Deagle. In most situations, you'll buy a Deagle on force or an eco round. A Deagle in those kind of rounds can easily turn the game around in your favor. I will typically force the Deagle armor after losing the pistol round. Since most of the enemy players will most likely have SMGs, playing at a distance with the Deagle can put you at a massive advantage. On eco rounds, I don't normally buy the Deagle as the pistol like the P250 is way better for the economy. But I will buy the Deagle on eco rounds where I have some money to spare. I only recommend buying the Deagle in games where you're feeling it. Sometimes it'll be more beneficial to put that money into something else. When playing with the Deagle in full games, you really gotta watch how you're positioned. Try to hold tight angles with loss of cover, and most importantly, don't be too aggressive with it. Take your time with each shot, allow yourself to aim for the head, and don't start to panic when fighting an enemy. Your practice should train your muscle memory to help you in gunfights. That's why it's important to stay composed and let your body do the work. In close confrontations, it's actually really beneficial to spray at the body, as in some cases you'll get a kill just after 2 body shots. Keep in mind that after you spray, you must be quick to recover in case you need to shoot again. So again, make sure you control each shot and don't waste your bullets. With time, you'll find yourself improving with the Deagle, and you'll be your own judge of how it helps you in game. Incorporate Deagle training into your practice and you'll soon find that it's not that hard to use after all. Keep at it, and most importantly, have fun with it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you could take the time to like the video and share it, I would greatly appreciate that. If you're new here, don't hesitate to subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitter. The link will be down in the description. Mine has been Lombardo. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, be water, my friends.